Hi, it's Joey and today we're watching Stargirl Season 3, Chapter 8, Infinity Inc. Part 2. I am so excited to hopefully find out what's happening with Jennie's brother, to see where Pat and the Shade are, and just everything else that's going on in this show. Reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and let's go! Why is the Shadowlands specifically Blue Valley? They were not in Blue Valley.
Lucky for you, you're with the sole being in existence that knows how to escape this dreadful place.
Well, it's not going to be that easy, is it? Does Jennie need to sort out her problems first? Or sort out her control, which she seemed to think was dealing with her inner darkness?
I'm as useless as...
You?
You.
It's okay, Critter.
Who are these people? Are they...
Todd, you can control this! Focus on your sister! Your family!
But that's a lot of pain as well.
You like boys?
Jesus Christ. Oh, sweet baby boy.
Ain't it takes.
Oh. They should never have been separated. Yes, that would have meant she was in an abusive home too, but he wouldn't have been alone. Oh dear. They've been found. God bless you. I mean, I would struggle to use that. Like those are before my time. Courtney's face.
But you don't understand how necessary it was.
Is this a place that is genuinely trying to help people, or is it as shady as it seems?
Going out of Todd, the whole world could be swallowed up in shadow.
This is why you don't keep
Him under control.
shady. See, if you're being genuine, annoying woman, then this is where you tell the truth to Jennie when she comes looking. You tell the truth to people when they're looking. You let them in on the secret so that they don't come and burst in like this. I'm not 100% sure I believe her.
Going to help him.
Oof. Are these the people that are watching? No.
I, of course, don't harbour such worthless emotions. I'm quite sure that you do.
You're quite wrong about that, I'm sure.
Give in to avoiding the hungry wraiths your insecurities will no doubt conjure up until I can...
Of course, you have no insecurities, Shade.
find a way out.
Oh, my angel. Yes, we're a normal, good place. That's why we put kids in cells. I could almost believe they were trying to help Todd, but they're just so sinister and shady with how they handle everything.
I'm an ally to both you and your brother.
Can we believe you? When you're being as shady as this?
Best for you both.
Then why didn't you tell her the truth when she first came here?
But you and Todd can never be together again.
Fuck that.
Like a tick on a dog, son.
We should go.
Time you tried to fix something,
Unless you can finally stand up to him.
you should have. She worried about your feelings.
She was a good parent. Funny that. Either stand up to him or leave. He doesn't deserve any of your time anymore.
Still miss you, Pop.
You're too good.
Back on.
It flashed green. At least they're still together. Oh, when his sister died?
I know it's difficult to lose people that you love.
Yes, spare me your bleeding heart sentiments, please.
You need to deal with this.
Survive. You're telling me about the darkness.
I'm just
Yes,
saying,
because you hide from it. You hide in it. But you haven't dealt with any of it.
away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm incapable of feeling anything.
You're very clearly afraid right now.
You can set the staff aside. Just as Yolanda can put Wildcat suit away. Rick the Hourglass, Beth her goggles.
He knows everything.
You're not like...
I don't even know who you are.
Is he Growly McGrowlerson?
There was nothing to be done.
I'm sorry. I really am.
So does he genuinely try to help kids?
Todd, unlike you and your friends, we were born this way.
Maybe there's a way for them to control it.
We help those like us learn to live a life of isolation. Help our patients survive the only way they can.
Some of them will be able to integrate in the world, though.
When
It's not
Jennie was
true.
infected by-
I saw her powers reacting to his hurting. She's the light he needs, not those lamps.
Mm-hmm.
My power...
Courtney is a wise one.
Because if we're alone, point of anything.
Is this man trustworthy? I mean, I don't want to judge by his appearance, but it's the shadiness they've conducted themselves with that makes me judge them.
Have faith.
Will that healing her help her heal her magic or her fire and help them get out of the Shadowlands? We all deserve a friend like Courtney, but the sad thing is Courtney deserves a friend like Courtney, and right now she doesn't have one.
He does everything he can to get your attention.
Well, Pat subconscious has noticed that he's kind of ignoring Mike a bit. Differently though, he tells Mike he loves him. He tells Mike, you know, he is around Mike. He's also like, I want you safe, get out of here. Now, yeah, maybe he doesn't pay more attention to Mike. I think we all know that. I've said it from season 1. But he does tell him he loves him. He doesn't tell him, you're a disappointment and I'll never be proud to call you my son.
You don't see Mike at all.
She got strung out and left him in a soup.
And Barbara chose to be his mom. And Barbara loves him.
Mike thinks about his mom every day. He doesn't say it.
Of course he does. He loves
She feels
Barbara.
as unwanted as Courtney does.
Okay, Jenny, you can be strong for both of you.
You have to go to him. What if I hurt him again? Do you want to hurt him? Then you won't.
You love him and he has been alone. I mean, he had his boyfriend, but he's been alone beyond that for so long. I just need these two to get to be together.
You need to leave.
I'm not going anywhere, Todd.
Exactly. Is Todd the reason the darkness got so attached to the green? The root of their greatest pain.
I don't understand it yet either.
But she loves you.
We finally found each other.
Just face your own problems, Shade. Stay strong a bit longer. Come on.
Dad left his ring for me. He knew.
She loves you so
Always been
much.
connected. We always will be.
You're not alone. She exercised her demons. I just want them to hug each other. It's just they need to have each other and build their lives to be beautiful like they deserve. It's working. And they're back, just in time. And this place has a lot of explaining to do. Like, I think it's helping people, but it can be less shady about it when people that also want to help the same people turn up.
What you're doing here isn't right.
All of our patients are free to go anytime they wish.
They don't think they
No one is
can.
held against their will. Oh.
It's true, and I think they are trying to do the right thing. I believe now that it isn't an evil place, but I also think there will be people that could build a life in the outside world that can learn to control their powers, and just because then, and there might be some that can't, and this could be a good place for them. It shouldn't be the expected outcome.
Even so,
Spying on you with hidden cameras? Don't be ridiculous.
I believe her. Who the fuck is Growly McGrowlerson?
Done here? Or at least I am.
Is he Growly McGrowlerson? Why would he be Growly McGrowlerson?
I'm gonna go.
Where?
With his sister.
My sister.
This is a very interesting place. They set it up like it was so evil, and it apparently isn't. What is it?
Isolation might not be the answer these kids need. Maybe Helix should form a team of our own.
Oh goodness. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't think we meant forcing the kids to become superheroes, just letting them
Can't believe
have company and
someone
lives.
else out there.
You want redemption for the past, right? Well, it isn't just about not doing bad things, Shade. It's about doing good.
Exactly, you don't redeem yourself by doing nothing.
They're the orphans that were left behind.
That's enough, Stripesy.
It's the truth, Shade, and you have to start facing these truths.
Amenable to my help with the shadows? Yeah, I'd appreciate that.
I'm not so sure.
Oh, then please turn me down.
I do need to get to New York. Can reform.
He's dealing with the demons that got
Yes.
dredged up.
I not give up on the villains, on my friends.
You are inspirational,
Myself.
Courtney. Pat is going through it because of what he saw.
What do you think? You want to talk about them?
Not yet.
You should talk about it with Barbara,
Whenever.
because Courtney is his kid.
Helix hasn't been the one spying on us.
Mm-hmm.
Then who?
Are we going to find out before them, or are we going to find out with them? I vote we find out first. As in, like, right now. Nice cloak you got there. He's still growling! Okay, so my first thought is if you were supposed to recognise the cloak from behind, tell me who it is. But also, don't, if it's a spoiler, and that was meant to be like an Easter egg for people that recognise from the comics, but probably actually don't tell me because I probably will just find out in the fullness of time. Okay, so I am thrilled that Jennie and Todd, I was going to call her Jess, Jennie and Todd are together again, they found each other, and that Courtney's belief in other people and Courtney's belief in finding a way forwards, she didn't just accept, yeah, no, these two kids can't ever be together, that's a shame. She was like, no, they are family. There is no universe in which they were meant to be kept apart. They love each other, and we know the light can help the dark and vice versa, and so they were able to come together, and it was really, really beautiful to see that moment where they were as like the little versions of them being able to run back and hug each other, and then it was a lot. I really would like them to just move to Blue Valley. It's a bit unrealistic, I suppose, but to be honest, given how irritated I am being with the rest of the JSA right now, just replace them. But I really do like Jennie's character, and I want to see more of Todd. And I feel like they're doing something really interesting because we have got so much information on them as characters for bit part characters that come and go and are hardly in it. Similarly with the Helix, him saying, you know, so we've learnt they aren't a bad place. They have some questionable ideals, but I also do get it, especially with what Mr. Bones, is that his name, Dr. Bones? What he's been going through. Obviously, yeah, he probably does need some kind of isolation just because people are prejudiced, and if he walks down the street, people will look at him and immediately see that there is something different about him. But for some of the kids, and there will be others who are similar, like him, maybe they have physical things that are obviously different, or their abilities are such that if they are out in the world with different like sensory issues and whatever, that could trigger them. But there will also be other kids who are like Todd and Jennie, who once they get a hold on things could live relatively normal lives just with powers. And those kids might find it easier to hide away in Helix, but that doesn't mean it's the right answer for them. But the right answer is also not, we'll form a superhero slash supervillain, I assume hero, squad of our own. No, give the kids like a real life. That's what Courtney meant, was a life, like with friends and school if they're kids, and you know, like a life. So they were interesting, and I feel like almost that feels like a build set up for another show. But given that the CW is like changing hands and they're axing every single show that's good, I don't know that I'm worried that this is going to be Stargirl's final outing because they kind of killed off all of the other DC-esque shows. And yes, this one isn't specifically in the Arrowverse, but it is a DC superhero show. And I don't see them starting new ones, but I also feel like they're setting up new ones. It's very strange. Courtney, as ever, is inspirational. She sees the good and the light, and I think that I love her as a character because she always tries to see the best of people and she always tries to find the positive outcome, but yet they haven't made her an unrealistic character. She has doubts. She has moments where she's wobbled and wavered, where she has self-doubts, but she has the strength to always come through it, and I think it's a very inspirational thing to watch. Pat, I think all Pat really needs to do going forwards is, one, sit Mike down and just talk to him about his mum. You know, say, look, I don't think I handled it the best when she left, because it's an impossible situation to be in, because Pat himself was probably like grief-stricken and heartbroken that his wife had left the family. He's going through a lot of emotions, and when your kid is little, you're not going to sit down with that toddler and be like, oh yeah, let's talk about your mum. But now Mike is that little bit, he's quite a lot older. He is old enough to be feeling a lot of very, very complicated things about it. but also to understand more complicated things and to talk to him and say, look, if you do want to talk about your mum, we can. I'm sorry that I made it such a wall of silence. I was dealing with stuff too. You know, I think Mike is getting to the point, he's old enough and he's been through enough with the team and everything, that he could deal, that Pat should sit down and have that conversation with him. And even talk about how, like, talk with him more about why he doesn't include him in missions and things and why he doesn't think he's enough, because it's not that at all. It's that he wants his kid safe. And, you know, when Courtney's out, I mean, I still question how young they all were when Pat was like, yeah, you can be the JSA, that's fine by me. But I've got my head around it now. It's the show we're watching and we go with it. Mike is even younger, and Stripesy is kind of Pat's thing. So, like, yes, Pat could step aside and be like, you pilot it, but at the end of the day, that is putting his kid in danger, when Mike has also shown himself to not be the most responsible 15-year-old. Again, that is not, he's a kid, he shouldn't have to be responsible enough to fly a flying robot. But, you know, I feel like a very open and honest conversation about how he's worried about him, and he's just like, would just be what you would do from here. And I don't mean you drag Mike from whatever he's doing and you say, stop feeling like shit, I love you. But, you know, just, if those are genuine concerns that Pat's subconscious has picked up about him worrying about his son, talk to Mike, be there for him, make sure he triple down making sure he knows you're there for him. Because we as the audience know Mike is going to get himself into trouble at this rate, and just sitting there feeling a bit sad about it isn't the answer. And for one thing I would like to say is that Pat is absolutely nothing like his father, because he is not including Mike in missions and things for his safety. And maybe, yeah, because he looks at Mike and he still sees Mike as his little boy. It's slightly different with Courtney because Pat only ever knew her as a teenager, whereas with Mike, that's that little baby that he, you know, watched take his first steps all the way up. It's harder to view that child as grown than it is a child that you've always seen as a teenager, as a young adult, even though I think Courtney was a kid. So talk to him about it. But also, would Mike take over running Stripesy? Is that safe? Wouldn't it be better for the rest of the kids to keep having the adult on site? You know, it's a mess of a situation. But the key difference between Pat and his own father is that Mike knows he's loved. I remember in season 1, I specifically remember, I can't remember what it was, Mike had done something and Pat had just ignored him, and I was like, parent of child, and I got a comment that was like, that is so condescending. It just really made me laugh at the time. But I have commented in the past that I think Pat's not done the best job with Mike, and I feel like he got better, and now it's kind of slipping a little bit. But the way it's slipping isn't so much the parenting anymore as it is the Mike thinking, I want to go be a superhero, and Pat being like, hell no, not right now, son. So just communication is the key here, and I don't want to have episodes of Pat being like, I think I'm a bad father, and doing nothing. I need him to be proactive with this. So this was a very good episode. The Helix Institute was not entirely what I expected it to be. I still think they went about things shadily. Like, yes, they were trying to protect people. Yes, they probably thought Jennie being close would be a problem. But I also just think she was desperately looking for her brother, and they could have just told her the truth. And instead they sent her off to do God knows what, and, like, presented themselves as weird shady villains. No closer to figuring out who McGrowlerson is, but we've ruled out some suspects. This was a good episode. I feel like, in a way, this two-parter for me could have been an episode and a half rather than 2 full episodes, but I also understand that there was too much in it for it to just be 1 episode. I did really enjoy it, don't get me wrong. It was just kind of a more slow-moving plot when we get into the point in the season when I'm ready for things to be go, 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 go. But yeah, this was a good episode. This was an excellent two-parter, and I'm so happy for Jennie and Todd. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.